When I would be introduced and people stood up, they were leaving. I'm glad you'll stay a little longer. Right now, I remember those meetings real well. Since it's kind of a Jackson Parish night, if you don't mind, I'd like for Jim Fanning and his wife Kitty to stand up back there. Jim's chairman of the Appropriation Committee, and his wife is the niece of Jimmy Davis. I do want to express my thanks and my appreciation to everyone who has brought this program forward through the years, and it's a very wonderful thing. I haven't been in a few years, but at times I was here, I was always impressed. And certainly we need to highlight Carolyn Phillips and the work she does. I mean, she really makes everything happen. I'd like to introduce my family as well. First of all, my wife, Rosemary, who is my partner and probably my main asset. You know, she was a heck of a campaigner, except the time she ran over the guy's foot up in Farmville at that watermelon festival driving the convertible. But she drove cars, she put up signs, blew up balloons, even made talks when I couldn't go make a talk. But maybe she also, I would have to say, she helped us interpret French visitors who came from time to time because of the association with Louisiana and France. They would come and we'd need somebody to interpret. We'd also call on her sometimes, I would, to help me interpret what those people from South Louisiana are saying. Her main accomplishment, though, may have come a few years ago when she made homemade ice cream for 600 people. They ate it all. Rosemary has certainly been a valuable part of our team, and I love her dearly, and I'm glad that she's here to join me with this. I also have my children here, Ashley Manning and her two children, Jefferson and Rosemary. Do you want to stand up? I might stand up Rosemary on a chair. Her husband, Judge Manning, is in New Orleans with our other granddaughter who is participating in the speech and debate. What is it, speech and debate? Okay, yeah. And doing real well. My son, Brandon Ewing, and his wife, Susan, and their daughters, Allison Rosemary and Bess Ann. Can I get a stand up there? And my brother, Terry, and Donna Ewing, and also our sister, Martha and Pat Anderson. Would you please stand? And we got a host of friends, and I appreciate them being here, and I certainly enjoy seeing some of the colleagues I've had and seeing the guys sitting over here that I was in the Senate with. But I want to really highlight one person that's very special, and that is Pam Love. Pam, would you stand up, please? Pam was my assistant for 12 years. And the truth is, Pam was a senator, and early on she decided whoever called our office asking for whatever, we were going to try to do it. And she was wonderful at it. And I run across people all the time that say, did you know that Pam helped me get in the hospital, or Pam helped me get a Social Security something straight, or Pam got a culvert in a driveway, or whatever it was. She was just really tremendous. And I just always want to acknowledge how much she participated and how much she meant to us. When Carolyn called and told me that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I called home and I told Rosemary, I said, Rosemary, I think we're going to get inducted into the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame. And Rosemary said, is that a good thing? Well, after looking at who else was coming in, my friend Rodney here, who I've known, we were boyhood friends, and we've been I started to say cahoots, but we've been together for a long time, working on things, and friends. And then I found out about Sammy. Sammy and I were colleagues, served for 8 years in the Senate together. Then Charlton Lyons, Billy Nungesser, Pappy Trish. I decided this is a good group. I'd like to be included in this group. And I knew some that had gone on before, like Donnie Kelly and other friends that had been included. So I was honored to be a part of it, of Democrats and Republicans. You know, when you're in politics, people refer to you and sometimes even call you things. They label you. You're conservative, maybe you're a closet Republican or a closet Democrat, or you're a liberal, or you're a radical, or you're a progressive. And you get these labels, and it seems like news people certainly enjoy them. One day when I was in the Senate, a guy called me over the side. He said, I want to give you something. He said, I want to give you this. Well, I looked at it. He said, it's a blue dog. And I'd been called a dog and other things before, but I said, well, what is a blue dog? What is a blue dog Democrat? And he said, well, it's kind of a practical, balanced sort of Democrat. I said, is that anything like a Republican? He said, oh, no, it's not anything like a Republican. He said, a blue dog has compassion and thinks. But you started off good. I enjoyed my time in public service. I had a chance to be with a lot of wonderful people, to work together with people doing things, Democrats, Republicans, black, white, north, south, country, city. It was good. Elected officials as well as citizen groups. And we used to not be so divided. We used to not be so polarized. It was easier to work with people. It was before the extremists took over in the various parties and seemed to drive the agenda. And it was before the talking heads on radio and everything drove such a wedge for their own self-interest and sometimes from very little knowledge or basic knowledge. But I did enjoy the opportunity. I enjoyed the fit of the fight. I enjoyed working with people. And I appreciate the credit that has often been given to me for things that happened while I just happened to be there. But I gotta confess, I really never did anything by myself. I've never done anything worthwhile by myself. But I did enjoy getting together with people and working, forming coalitions, sometimes finding people who didn't have the same philosophy, but we found common ground and we worked on issues. A case in point, and Max Kelly was part of this. In 1988, they had the time program, and that's the 4-lane highway program. 167, the road that most of you came in here on, was not in there. 71 was, and 165 was. Well, it just seemed to me that 167, with all the commerce and being central and going in up through the middle of Arkansas and on over to Memphis, that was an artery we had to have. So I started talking to Buddy Romer. But others, including former Senator Katie Kilpatrick, who had brain surgery this week but is doing well, started putting together a coalition of people, including all the mayors from Alexandria to Junction City. And on a real rainy day, Governor Romer met me and we went over to the City Hall there in Ruston to meet with all the mayors and all the delegations coming. It was pouring down rain, we couldn't go in, so it gave me a great opportunity to talk to him about the traffic count, about the important infrastructure that we needed here. It also gave me an opportunity to suck up a lot of smoke because he was a chain smoker and had all the windows blown up at that time. But we got it in his mind that this would be a good thing. We went into the room and Katie said, didn't want the media in there. I don't know, Rodney, but I said, no, we want the media there because our good friend Buddy Romer, as brilliant as he was, sometimes he would forget his promises. And I thought if we had it on TV, my friends over here are enjoying that. But if we had it on TV, we would get it, and we did. And there were other things. Rodney and I worked on the CHIPS program together, bringing insurance and health care to children in our area. The balanced budget amendment, all those guys over there voted for it on the third time. But yeah, what about it, John? But anyway, it was teamwork. And I do think teamwork, working together, finding the common ground. We need that today. We need it in our homes, we need it in our communities, we need it in our churches, we need it in the state, and we need it in government. And each of us needs to take an active role and be involved